Okay, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to meet our special guest? She is 1/5 of girl band The Saturdays, who have sold over 5 million records worldwide. She's also Declan Nerney's niece, a Tipperary native, and the person we'd most like to slide into our DMs. Will you please go wild and crazy? Tipperary's own Una Healy!
Woo! Muff. Go on, give her a kiss, Johnny, come on. See, they do that on TV shows. You'd swear we weren't talking backstage for half an hour, like.
Oh, don't be giving the game away now.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Showbiz, Johnny, showbiz.
Una, how are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
Oh, sure, not too bad.
We're all right until we met this crowd.
Hey, look, congratulations on getting out of Thurles.
It's been a while now. I've been, but you can't get away from the place. Like, it's just so endearing. I love going home.
Really?
I've been living in the UK now for nearly 12 years. But I just still always call Thurles home. It's always my home, and always will be, you know.
We wanted to ask you, Johnny Smacks played County Minor, but you also have an All-Ireland.
I do, but not...
it's not as impressive.
Yeah, well, you know, it's impressive in its own way, Una.
Under 12 swimming.
Under 9.
Under 9?
Oh, no.
Jeez.
Oh, no, I wish it was under 12s as well. No, under 9, I was... So I spent most of my young life in the swimming pool, down in Thurles pool, actually. Literally every day after school, I'd head down there and swim loads of lengths. Like, used to do a mile, like 64 lengths of the pool.
At 9 years of age?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was like, and then I went to, remember Mosney?
Yeah.
I went to Mosney 8 times and representing Tipperary. We had the full
you
tip
go there now.
tracksuits. I won the All-Ireland when I was 9, and I had 12 Munster goals, and yeah.
Oh my God.
It was just,
what happened? How come you weren't out in the Olympics now?
Oh, well, like, there was no one to coach us at the time. Like, the guy that was the coach, he went to university and then he was gone. So I was like training myself at one point. And then
swimming in the bath.
Yeah, swimming in the bath, yeah. But like, I actually then joined Kilkenny Swimming Club just for somewhere to train.
Jesus
But then,
Christ.
do you know what that made me then? I had to compete then with Leinster, you know, so I was no longer Munster, so I wasn't winning all the goals then.
You were wearing
I think it was
scarves and all
a bit
sorts
more
of stuff like that.
competitive. Yeah.
Oh my God. And tell us, like, you know, you're mad into swimming. How did the music come into your life then?
Well, I always loved singing, like, as a child as well. Like, with obviously there was a lot of music in my family with my uncle Declan, and my mother used to sing. And so she taught me actually how to play guitar. When I was 12, she passed down her guitar to me and taught me the first few chords. And then I started to write songs nearly as I started to play. So, like, with the first 3 chords, it was like D, G, C.
Yeah, I've got them.
Yeah, I know. No, C, A minor, D, G was a song I wrote called I Miss You about my grandfather that died, Danjo. Oh. And that was the first song I wrote when I was 12. And then I just stayed writing all throughout my teens. And I guess after the swimming, it kind of replaced that. And it was my passion then. And like, that was what I wanted to do. But of course, my family were like, well, you need to find something to fall back on. Yeah. So I tried a few things in university and college and all that, but I kept dropping out. I got a good leaving cert. I studied hard. And I got the points to do nursing and primary school teaching, but I actually failed the interview. I went past at the time it was an interview, an aptitude test, and I passed the aptitude test, definitely had enough points, but they failed me in the interview. They were like, no, it's not for you. So
I think you're quite a good
But
interview.
I went back, I was so determined, I was like, I'm going back. So then the following year it became a degree, and I had the points, so I did nursing. But I did primary school teaching. Actually, no, I left school, God, I'm so rambling here. Left school, did a PLC course down in the tech, and then there was a kind of business computer course. And then I went to Mary I to do primary school teaching for 3 months, and I just loved the nights out, but I wasn't probably turning up enough for lectures, and it wasn't for me.
Where was your spot in Limerick?
The lodge. We used to go out to the lodge on the bus. Yeah, I used to love. I heard it's closed down now. I'm really sad about that because, like, well, not that I'd be going. Imagine me heading there now, you know. Oh, God.
We have an icon.
Oh, yeah, I think I went there a couple of times, but I think that was just the once a week we'd always go out to the lodge. And then in UL as well, there was like the bars in there because I did nursing for a year and a half. It was a nurse in UL.
So
then I decided to pack it all in. I was like, all I want to do is music. So I bought my PA system, and I had a Honda Civic, and I let the seats down and shoved all the gear in. I got like literally the paper. I got the Tipperary Star out first, and then I ventured to other counties and was like literally just driving around looking to see any bars that had live music, and I would ring them up saying, "Can you give me a go? Like, you know, I'll do it for free for the first one, just to give me a chance." And I eventually got residencies in bars and places. So I was in the City West every Friday night.
What age do you know at this stage?
I was like early 20s, yeah.
Wow.
I'd pulled out of college altogether, and I said I'll give myself a 5-year plan of just really trying to make it in the music. And I had like a CD of my original songs that I'd sell at the end of a gig. So I would do like a 2-hour set with just me and the guitar singing covers, few originals, and then sell the EP at the end for £5, €5, yeah.
Head away then in the Civic.
Yeah, off of the Civic, and my parents were like my roadies. They used to come with me, like, you know, to help me unload, yeah. But yeah. So
you were telling us you went to America doing a gig once in a cover band, and you had a 2-hour set. And how long did you have to play for? Was it?
Oh no! In America, well, I used to do St. Patrick's Day in Florida, and I did a 10-hour set actually of just literally. I sang Danny Boy about 20 times. You know, it's just, there's only a certain few songs you can do. The Fields of Athenry, all them. I was doing like all my Irish set. And they're like, do you know that one, Danny Boy? And you're like, I've sang it there about, 3 minutes ago, but I'll do it again, yeah. My great grandmother was Irish, yeah.
Oh, I know her, yeah, she's from town, yeah. do you know Mick Ryan from, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you auditioned for Popstars, the Irish Popstars.
The Irish Popstars,
so
yeah.
This is the band 6 came out of this, was it? And how come you didn't get into it? What happened?
Well, I was down to the last 32, and we went off to this secret location in Portumna, like where they were like... I could never remember... I'll never forget the voiceover was like, the Popstars are off to a secret location. And it was like, yeah, Portumna was like this. And there were all these like little chalets that they put like mock bands in. So we're like, I was in a band. It was actually myself, Nadine, Brian Ormond was in my band as well. And then there was 3 others from Cork. And then they had like all the different bands, but we actually never made it in a band. Nadine did, but then she was pulled out again for being underage. Do you remember that with the passport? I didn't make it into that. But
aren't
then
you lucky you didn't, like, you wouldn't dance around on late in a white suit, like, which is obviously my dream, Westlife style.
Yeah. But I remember that walk of shame, walking down, and it was Louis and Linda Martin, and they were like, you have to walk all the way down and you're waiting and you know your fate. And I just could tell by their faces, they were just looking at me and they went, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen for you. And you're like, oh, and then you're so devastated. Like, you think your whole world has ended and it's like your dreams are shattered. And I think, though, you need knocks like that in life, though, yeah, to keep going,
Did you ever meet Louis Walsh or Linda Martin since and just be like, it did work out for me, yeah? Fuck you, Louis. He was stuck with Jedward at the time.
I auditioned for lots of different things, and it wasn't until I actually went out and did the pub scene that really kind of toughened me up and got me ready to audition for, when I literally Googled auditions in London and found the Saturdays audition.
And before you found the Saturdays, you did have, I suppose, a bit of a break. You were sang at the Eurovision.
Yeah.
With
Brian Kennedy, yeah, backing singer. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a photo there.
Oh, they're.
There you go.
Oh, them lovely dresses.
It's a lovely Una.
They're really lovely girls.
And Brian's just saying a prayer, hoping Ireland will win there. It's,
and you have that's Gunter from Friends in between the two of you.
But you said it there, you Googled an audition.
Yeah.
And an audition came up for the Saturdays. And how did that happen?
Well, it wasn't, we actually didn't get the name the Saturdays for a long time. We were always like just the girl band. We were signed to Polydor, and it was the Polydor girl band for a long time until we got the name. We had like a big sort of brainstorming meeting. Had like this kind of marketing company came in, and they had like just a big whiteboard up and writing out. We were all throwing names out. They were throwing names in, and it just, we thought that it was an authentic name because it was like, didn't sound like a typical girl band name. It wasn't like the Babes or the Girls or,
Do you remember like the names that came second and third round?
I remember one actually that came maybe third, and it was called Girls Can't Catch.
Somebody paid a marketing company for that. Oh my God.
And you know what? And then they actually signed a band, and they called the band Girls Can't Catch, but they didn't catch. They didn't catch on. No. Unfortunately, it was a bad name. If you're going to call yourselves that, like I never liked that name because girls can catch.
There you
go. Catch very well as well. Woo!
No girls, go on the girls, but
yeah.
Now the Saturdays took off then and like were huge, like 5 million record sales, the whole lot. How did you find?
That's only like 4.9 million more than us, you know?
How did you find, getting that break and I suppose almost being famous overnight as such, like?
It wasn't like, I guess it wasn't overnight, like, because we didn't come off a reality show, so people didn't really know us for a while. Like, we did kind of have to do the grafting a bit more, but it helped. I guess the two of the girls that were in the band were Nest Club Juniors as well, so that was kind of like, I guess, a bit of a marketing thing there as well. I was the Irish one, of course.
Yeah.
They always have a token Irish, don't they?
And like, did you do any like bad, like, did you have any horrible gigs when you started off the Saturdays? Like, I remember in Roscrea going to Supermax to see Boyzone.
Yeah.
And they just stood on the counter and mimed. So, like, it went all right for them in the end, but, like, did you have anything like that?
Yeah, do you know we had a great one in Thurles, actually. We played the Greyhound Stadium in Thurles. I was so excited about that, bringing the girls back, and I was like, in the car going, that was my school, and that's where I'd go for chips, and, like, that's where I'd go out, and yeah.
Did you bring them into Larry Corbus for a few pints?
Where did we go? We stayed out in the Horse and Jockey, I
Bit
think.
of
That's where
watered
they
down
put us
vodka.
up in the Horse and Jockey, and I get so extra Irish when I'm back I was extra Irish with the girls when I'd bring them back, and just really telling them all about
How were you received in Thurles? Like, were they supportive or were they like?
Oh, really? Yeah, everyone was. Because they all knew like how I was struggling for a few years, like out in the pub scene. I was actually in a band in Thurles. My first big break actually was in Hayes' Hotel in Thurles, singing with a band. The local band were called Unreal.
How very Thurles.
Yeah. One of the lads was like, should we just call ourselves Unreal?
Unreal.
Yeah. And so that was the first kind of band I was in when I was, I think, 17. And then I went sort of out on my own and just gigging in pubs and all that. So they knew I'd been doing it for a while,
That's great that they support you. Like, I can't go back to Roscrea with a new jacket. Like, I get black eye. I came back at Christmas, I had a new jacket on, and everyone was like, oh yeah. Big shot now. Big shot with the new jacket. I went up and ordered 2 pints, and your man was like, oh, money bags. I was like, it's €8.80, like, Jesus Christ, and I'm not getting a drink. But, I mean, now you've obviously you're on a hiatus with the Saturdays.
Yeah, well, like, what happened with the Saturdays? How come you guys decided to take a break?
We'd been together for a few years, and we just felt we got to that point where we were like, let's just give it a bit of time out, and it just has been 5 years now. So everyone's happy doing their own thing. Everyone's sort of found a little niche that they're happy in, and some have families and just busy. Like, so I guess to come together again would be like we'd have to really plan that one, and hopefully we will. Because I hear all the bands are all getting back together. So
I'm sure Westlife are making a fortune. You see.
Yeah, they're back. But they waited like 20 years. I think that would be a long time. I don't know if I'd like to wait that long. It's just.
We'll have to break
I was
up
saying,
like a few pounds.
I was talking to Molly about it, and we were saying we're mad to pull the tights back on,
Get the tights back on.
Get
the
those the coloured tights, yeah. I still have them, like the two-tone tights. Like I was blue at the front and they were black at the back. Do you remember when the coloured tights were in fashion?
From the music video Up. I love them.
Yeah.
I actually wore those tights.
Oh, did you?
I replicated that outfit.
Good.
That's
Yeah,
how
the
iconic
black
that
dress
music
and
video
the-
was.
Yeah, we have a
tights.
picture there, Maura.
Yeah.
No. And like we were heartbroken, to see that you're dating a lovely hunk there from Limerick, and I'm not gonna lie, we cried for 3 days. I consumed 12 tubs of Häagen-Dazs. I was incontrollable. But we'll get onto that in the quickfire round. But
You're doing a bit of country music.
Yeah.
Well, how did this come about?
Well, I suppose the country is in the blood from my uncle Declan, country and Irish.
Declan Nerney, everybody, the legend. Yeah.
And that's the kind of music I grew up listening to, and I used to go to all his gigs as well as a little child, and then playing the guitar. And I guess like the kind of songs I write are real kind of storytelling songs about my life and about some other people's stories as well, and that's what country music really is. It's an awful lot about whiskey and beer as well. An awful lot of songs. There's actually so many really good titles. Actually, one is he says. People say I've got a drinking problem, but I've got no problem drinking at all. It's like things like that, and it's like whiskey, and you're always talking about like your beer never broke my heart is another one that's out at the minute. I don't actually throw in the poutine or anything like that. That's what I need to do an authentic Irish one and call it poutine.
Yeah.
There's a fella from Clonmel who wears a cowboy hat around the town.
Oh, is it?
He's a country singer. I want to bully him, like he's just. Come on.
I kind of guess it's got a bit of a country twist in it, but it's just, I guess, a singer-songwriter acoustic. Yeah.
100%. Una, before we finish up, we've got a quickfire round that we do with all our guests. So Johnny,
I always just say the wrong answer in these things.
Oh,
I know there's no right or wrong, but it always seems like the wrong one.
there's loads of wrongs with this quickfire round.
Do you know, like, you're famous, right? And do you know when you start, like, dating someone, is it a dose if you go on a date and then it's in the papers, like, and you're like, oh, we're only dating? You know, I'm just asking for a friend.
I suppose, like, you know, you kind of you have to accept, I guess, in a way that people want to know about your private life as well as your professional. The music, they don't really care about the music; they want to know about the goss, you know. So
Who are you riding?
yeah.
So I got a new album out. Don't mind the album. Who are you shifting?
So basically, what Una's trying to say, Johnny, is stop shifting birds and rinds. 4 times a week. Okay.
My mother actually said it to me on the phone today. She's like, "You better not try and get off of Una Healy. She's a lovely girl. Leave her alone. I swear to God." My mother has an awful opinion of me. Anyway, lads. Now, Una, quick fire round. Right. We're going to ask you a load of questions. They're fairly straightforward. You answer as quick as you can. Ready? Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Favorite child?
Oh, I can't.
Don't mind him. Una,
No,
don't
I
mind.
can't do that one.
I should never leave you off on your own.
Imagine favorite child.
Tea or coffee, Una?
Tea, definitely.
U2 or Big Tom?
Oh, Big Tom.
Yo. Daniel O'Connell or Daniel O'Donnell?
Oh, Daniel O'Donnell, because I met him. Oh.
I know this now. Honda Civic or Subaru Impreza?
Oh, a Civic. Yeah, I used to have 2 Civics, one after the other.
Civic.
Yeah.
Going around with a big spoiler around Thurles.
Yeah. Yeah. Doom, doom, doom.
Favorite pub in Thurles?
Oh, I'd say Hickey's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the bigger hunk? Brian Dobson or Marty Whelan?
Oh, Marty Whelan. I hung out with him at the Eurovision, actually. Yeah.
No.
Definitely a hunk.
What a
Good
man.
man, Marty. The Venga Boys, the Venga Boys or the Wolf Tones?
Oh, the Wolf Tones.
Tones, okay.
Vodka Red Bull or Jaeger bombs?
I feel so sick after the Jaeger bombs. I have to say Vodka Red Bull, even though I don't really like that either. But they're
Vodka
an
Red
awful
Bull,
dose of a hangover.
Give us another hour now. A burger or a snack box, Una?
A snack box, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Westlife or
Boys
Boyzone?
I don't know. That's a tough one, isn't it? You know.
We left you off with the children now. You're going to
I'll say I'll say Westlife.
Westlife,
Yeah.
okay. John Lahey or Pat Fox?
John Lahey.
Go on, Lahey, boy.
Bye, lahi, bye. Did you ever have a nickname?
Kind of, not really actually. I think Una is such a short one. It's
Kinda
kind of like
short,
how to
yeah.
shorten it's like Oons, and you're like it's just as long, like, you know. Yeah.
Do you have
What do you say? What?
do you have any tattoos?
No, actually, no tattoos. It's so boring, isn't it?
You have to get 2 Johnnies tattoo now.
Yeah.
Celebrity crush?
Oh, I was saying this, like I didn't have many posters on my wall growing up, but I used to have one of. Do you remember that lad Shane from Home and Away? Does anyone remember him? I used to love him. Yeah, I don't know what he looks like now. Actually, it could be quite scary, but
Bastard.
back in the day, yeah.
And Una, if you had to, which one of the 2 Johnnies would you take on a date?
Oh, I'd have to. Can we do like a speed date and then we'll see, like, you know, toss the hat, see who lasts the longest.
I'd say Maura's got a better chance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Una will be back later on for a very special performance. But for now, will you please put your hands together for the one and only Una Healy?
Oh, thank you.